Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm OP, and in today's episode we will be going over some of the best highlights from the round 1 matchup between T1 and Dplus KIA from the 2023 LCK Summer Playoffs. Without further ado, let's dive straight into the action.
Yep, I think Dplus are wanting to hit the ground running, because I think when it comes to team fights, if T1 get ahead, if they get set up on an objective, set up in the river, you're going to really struggle to push in and contest.
I also feel like this is going to be a big test for the welcome back of Kellen as well, because I'm being traded as Rift Herald. It's fully on T1 vision, as Faker will have his Shock Blast blocked by a minion, unfortunately, as Deft, just barely spotted out here. As Willie land the Void Seeker. There's the flash forward as Kellen's going to get the flash out of Faker. Void Seeker comes in and Deft still wanting to try and get it, and there's first blood! They take down Faker and get his flash.
Beautiful roam up, perfect timing. They just got the Herald. No mid laner to defend. Owner, I guess he could come over and ult, but now. So you want to start on this dragon, but looks like a contest is coming through, but Showmaker just got chunked.
Yeah. Faker also taking a bit of damage, but Showmaker a bit lower. Does have flash, does have Emperor's Divide. As the Nature's Grasp is going to come out, Deft is going to be able to walk past Canyon, but the Glacial Prison landing isn't going to matter if the Drake is just dead, and Dplus is going to have to walk their way out. Pulverize comes in, there's the flash headbutt as Canyon tries to get himself out of there. The smash bash back though onto the Sejuani. Permafrost does come in and Canyon is surviving for the moment, but he is going to fall in the end. Kind of cute that he gets a bit of a walk around, and that is going to be the first kill for T1, evening the scoreline.
Yeah, good opportunity found by...
But still got chunked as he tried to face check his way in, and as you can see at the start of this replay, Showmaker is below half.
Yeah, and it's just so hard to approach against this composition from T1. They were there first, they were on the objective, and then Canyon's just hanging around, and I'm not really sure for what. You know, the play's already over, the dragon's already gone, you're not really finding a fight here, and he just lets this play essentially happen. It's a great read from T1, but Canyon definitely overstaying to allow it happening. And of course, they make Zaya because Deft can use the ult to reposition, and then if you flash for the feathers, he can flash too. And if you don't hit the feathers in the 1v1, you aren't winning from that point.
Yeah. Ooh, the chains are going to be broken here. They're going to miss. And there's the flash out. Zeus is going to stay alive. Kellen's running for it, but he finds a 3-man quickness and grand entrance that there is no follow-up for. So unfortunately, it doesn't get enough done. Still, no one's going to die on the top side, and there are a few summoner spells now on cooldown.
You know, that play from Kellen, might see a bit more here.
Yeah, Faker is, this is not your turret, Faker, as Showmaker is going to get the Emperor's Divide, the flash, it doesn't work out, and now Faker is going to have to take the other side, and he will be all right, at least for the moment. Still, Canyon's moving over, Shock Blast coming in, and can Faker find himself an execute or some sort of avenue of escape? And the answer is no, because Showmaker will just hit him with a couple of auto attacks. That is going to be the solo kill.
Where being ahead of the curve makes such a big difference, and really not going to be the situation this game.
Well, there's a headbutt onto Kellen. He's going to have his grand entrance interrupted, but just uses it again. Once it comes back off cooldown, he will be all right. As Deft clearing out vision himself.
Just quick reaction from Kellen just to pop the ult immediately, but realistically, T1 are happy just burning the quickness. Oh,
that's a flash pulverize. They get the headbutt onto Deft here as well. Lit on fire, trying to keep himself alive, but it's not going to work out as Gumushi does come in. We've got a trade though as Faker just smashed into the wall and will be taken down. Still, T1 can transition into this mid-outer turret, and they have later in the game, then, you know, that means that these kills onto Faker have been valuable for Dplus. Haven't necessarily seen him in a few of these other fights actually figure too much out, as there's a Hex Flash headbutt pull from Carrier. As the Nature's Grasp comes down, Canna is going to be able to press that Dominus button as Deft is doing his best to find some damage. And Owner is burning down, ticking, and there's Showmaker picking up another one. That was a beautiful defensive play from Dplus KIA.
Yeah, really well played there. Great flash from Deft, but a lot of summoners burned from the side of Dplus immediately. They don't want to give T1 a chance to group up again, and with the jungler down, T1 have to fight this. They can't try and go for a steal.
Feels like a bit of a shooting gallery here, as we'll have to see whether Faker can land a few more of these Shock Blasts. Moving towards this one, Canna doesn't have Dominus, but he's still pretty scary. There's a headbutt as Zeus has popped the World Ender. Carrier getting taken down low, as now the full health Aatrox is trying to get this one done. Deft is already dead, and Showmaker, he can't do anything. The Baron still up and alive, and Dplus just overstepped.
Dplus just panicked. There's no other way to explain it. The call wasn't clear.
In that last fight is now T1. They're going to throw down the Nature's Grasp. Showmaker and Deft do manage to get out of the way of it, but Canyon not going to be so lucky. Pull back still does have the Aftershock, and so therefore is going to be able to survive for the moment, but another World Ender comes down and Canyon is dead. Zeus is just a freight train in these fights. Still, Canna is able to sidestep a few of these abilities, but that is no jungler now for Dplus, and the shoe is on the other foot.
Yeah, T1 potentially going to look...
Oh, there's another flash from KIA. Doesn't quite get the headbutt in the place that he wants there onto Showmaker as Emperor's Divide does go down, but he is still dead. Canna trying to get into that backline as Faker is going to try and kite out the Crocodile, and he will. It's a double kill for Gumayusi. Deft is going to get stepped on by Zeus, and T1, they'll even take a blue buff as they head back towards this Baron.
Phenomenal setup with the Renekton, but against Isaiah. How are you supposed to do anything? You see KIA is already playing Bodyguard.
And they're on full vision as Grand Entrance does fly forward. Gumayusi's Featherstorm has already been used as Canyon's moving in. Showmaker trying to find an angle. He is so much of the damage. Kind of a shooting gallery here for Dplus, but Canna gets over the wall and Zeus just executes him. This Aatrox, man, you got to keep your eye on him in these team fights. Void Seeker is not going to find him there, and now with a man advantage, T1 are going to press forward. Inhibitor number 1 is going to go down. Faker presses W, that's going to help him grab that one as KIA doesn't find the headbutt. Can't quite get to the pulverizers. There's a twisted advance. Ona goes so far in and will just get destroyed. Good flash there from Deft to make sure they get that one, but still, 2 inhibitors for Ona. You probably take that if you are T1. 50 as neutral objectives are concerned.
It's just gone.
I think it is, and there it goes. So Ona going to be able to lock that one down. Now Dplus are looking for a team fight, but KIA, he's found Kellen, their key form of engage, and he just gets destroyed. The defensive ultimate from Canyon is decent, but Dplus is still going to have to get out, and Zeus is so fast as he moves towards them. Permafrost does come in. Deft trying to find some autos, but look at that Q3, and Zeus will not be silenced. The Duskblade makes him untargetable, and Canyon is doing everything that he can to escape, but he's not going to be able to stop this Nexus from exploding as T1 look dominant in the later game and will take down Dplus. The first game of this best-of-5 series.
Felt like a pretty silent game from Canyon on this one. Not the best performance from him, not able to get it going, but T1 looked back in form. KIA in particular had a stormer of a game on this Alistair, making constant
important.
Yeah,
and Leandri's would help them do Baron a little bit faster as well.
Yeah, especially when you have such a tanky front line, and Deft is overstepping here.
Yeah, he definitely is. He's going to have to flash, and there is the passive. Deft is going to be taken down. Ona tanking the turret, and he is just fine. Perfect. First gank here is Canyon. He's going to try his hand at taking down Faker. He doesn't have flash, but he does have a bit of a head start as he moves towards the brush. And he will be able to get in here. Gets the ward over the wall, and Faker is still going to get knocked up by the Arctic Assault.
Well,
still
so close.
Just barely going to be able to keep himself alive is Faker.
Some risky pathing, considering he had no flash, but Deft just...
at over 10 CS a minute throughout the majority of the game, and that may just continue here. Showmaker does take a shock blast as Faker is dove forward. Does have his flashback available once again as there's the flash Emperor's Divide, and Faker, he's not going to press his flash button just yet. We'll see whether he does manage to make his way out, and he does. And it looks like Dplus is just going to let him go.
Yeah, and you know, if it'd been a little bit longer, a little bit later that Faker's flash was being level 1, then maybe we could have seen that play working out. But he gets to summon it back, and it was a little bit...
Move on in, and spots that something is afoot. Okay, there's the flash forward from Kellen. Gumayusi going to cleanse now. Glacial Prison comes down. KIA just standing next to Gumayusi. Permafrost is in. Does manage to stun up this Xayah as KIA looking for even more because they have a tree on the way. It might have been a little bit much though as Deft is going to have to cleanse. The root is not going to be there. And there is the hit back onto Kellen. So 3 versus 3, some low health bars on both sides. As Canyon dashes forward, Killer Instinct comes down. KIA is going to protect them for so long, but Deft is going to go down in the end. Kellen and Canyon getting the...
saving that play with the shield. Such a close one, and we see the flash W. This play felt very weird. You know that KIA is going to block it, and you also know that Gumayusi has cleansed, and yet they still go for the play. It very nearly backfires here when Ona comes in, but Deft has 6, and Canyon's like, we're going for this play, and look how clutch Carrier's shield is, nearly actually saves the play for T1.
Yeah, the flash forward and immediately stands next to Gumayusi and puts up the door. Mitigates so much here.
Onto Gumayusi, and they manage to meet their objective there. Get a bit of an advantage. Obviously, junglers both having a fair bit of gold thanks to those 2 kills, but I feel like Owner having an early demonic, definitely a big difference maker.
Yeah. And we do have the cull cashed in as, okay, Glacial Prison is going to go wide. The knock-up comes through from Kellen, though, as Carrier wondering where he wants to put the door and decides that Deft is going to be the option. Still, Deft, oh, he does find it. Killer Instinct not going to be opted into, knew that it was going to be his life. They are now on this dragon. Taking a fair bit of damage. You can see Deft now without the ultimate. He does have flash to get over that wall if he'd like to, but not going to be doing that. He's going to need that for the future as the dragon just gets interested in Canyon and Canyon presses Smite.
And I think you just take that if you're Dplus, despite the fact that the...
Explain yourself.
Oh my... You know, I wasn't even...
You were focusing on the fight, weren't you?
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's on me.
Man.
I am playoffs as well.
Yeah.
This is actually really bad for Dplus because their advantage they have in the early game is the 2 dragons, and now they get scammed because...
Well, Alan is going to quickness and... something that he could work with, but Carey is going to be in the area. This turret is extraordinarily low, so I have a feeling that Deft might just need to get out of there. There's the flash, and so Canyon's now going to move in. And Carrier, he could be in trouble. Does still have flash available, but there's the permanent frost. And now Gumayusi is up against the wall and just taken down. That is 2 swift ones there in trade for Deft's flash and cleanse. As Kellen getting underneath this turret. Faker is relatively low. Zeus is here, though, and he's very capable of dying. That is true.
They were banking on getting a good soul, and then they get scammed out of it.
All right, Gumayusi is going to press Featherstorm, but is it actually going to be enough? He decides that a flash is not going to save him, and I think he might be right as Faker is teleported in. Deft taking a fair bit of damage from that shock blast, as he may have overextended. The ulti is going to connect, but only onto Canyon, who will be A-OK. Battle Dance gets Kellen well and truly out of there, and so Dplus, they get towards their turrets, and Showmaker's here on the top side. This controller does go over, so T1 get full information as to what's going on. Deft going to be moving in here as, yeah, they are doing it again. Teleport going to come through from T1. Let's see how this one goes. As Shock Blast connects onto Deft, and now they have to vacate. It is a decent ultimate there from Canyon, but he's still going to get pushed around. The ulti comes through. Faker even hit by the Baron, as that's an incredible ult to come through from Kellen. Keeping himself alive as well. Kanna taking some Shock Blasts. And these Void Seekers do need to land. They want to keep, it looks like, T1 in position to try and defend it. And the more damage Gumayusi takes, the more difficult it's going to be for T1 at the beginning of these ones. As teleports come forward, Deft will take a shock blast. It's a trade of poke here for both teams.
Oh my.
Okay, Gumayusi has to go home. Yep. Well, it's not over. I mean, Dplus are just going to force an earlier Elder. Yeah.
But yeah, it's if this was any other soul, that would feel really bad.
Yeah.
You want to like, well, that's not great, not terrible.
No. Not the end of the world. Still, they are going to go for a reset, and Dplus now with their soul. They can
recall. He has a lot of gold on him.
And it is in full vision of Dplus, but what are they going to be able to actually do about it is there's the flash out from Canyon. Kellen looking for an angle. Void Seeker connects. The Baron is going to be secured by T1. They may lose Zeus, but maybe that'll be worth it. Gumayusi caught in the back of the pit, does have to flash. The Crocodile takes a while to go down. Deft uses the last remnants of his mana to do so. And so, Croc for Baron. I guess you take that as T1. Mid-control. Might be a bit of a Hail Mary. As Kellen looks for that flank angle, Mega Cone is going to push him and Zeus further out. As, all right, Void Seeker comes out. Shock Blast is going to land onto Deft, though. Poke War being won by Faker.
If Kellen's there, he can cue the Elder for heals, but he's nowhere near.
He is, and now can get behind as the Nature's Grasp comes in. They line up behind Canyon as Zeus going to be moving in. He gets spotted by Kellen, who's going to quickness. Can he actually get into the backline? He does! Gumayusi going to get locked down, but he does Featherstorm. There's the flash, but they get into the backline, and just some K'Sante things as the Emperor's Divide is going to push away the Croc. Massive damage, actually, as the Gore Drinker does a bunch of work, and Owner is going to take an Elder after losing the team fight. Okay. Still, now the K'Sante is going to dive on top of him, and I don't know whether very much Elder value is coming in. As
phenomenal flank there from Kellen, able to shut out Gumayusi, able to take him down, get him low enough that the follow-up's there. And that is enough to claim the fight. They don't get the Elder, but it doesn't matter when you get the game. Keria cannot defend this solo.
yeah, and Dplus, they will even out the series. It's just a best of 3 that we've got to look at here. And we were nervous, right? Because you come into a series like this, you change basically nothing in your game plan. They only decided to not give up and try and stop Ona from taking this blue buff. Seen on that ward, really great positioning of the vision here for Dplus to make sure that vertical jungling is not going to ensue.
This is interesting. Canyon could have gone for his opponent's blue buff, but wants the gank instead.
Yeah, he's going to flash forward, actually gets the crash down, and Faker's going to flash, but I don't know whether it's going to be enough first blood to Canyon as Showmaker puts up a surprised Teemo, understandably so. Just hits level 6. That is going to be very, very nice for Dplus.
Yeah, still does have the cleanse, but I don't think it's too much of an issue. Ona now showing up bottom. This has been a very
there's the flash forward from Keria. Deft is going to cleanse it immediately. They get the knock-up. Keria's burning, and there's the hail of arrows. And they're just going to pick up the kill in the 2v2, I guess, because Ona didn't even have a chance to come in.
I'm not sure what the game plan is. It's so much harder for the Poppy to get in from that angle.
Most likely. Let's have a look at this replay once again. We'll see whether Ona is actually channeling Hex. No, he's not. Hasn't even had a chance to start channeling, right? It just feels like it was a little bit early.
Because even if he's channeling Hex Flash, you'd have to get so deep into the lane to get a slam into the wall, or else you're just going to slam into the tower. You know?
I love the DK fans just look like, but why?
That's kind of how, that was my reaction when I saw that play. T1 on the Dragon. Securing an early one would be massive for them. When you're a corky composition, you're obviously going to have that package leverage later. And a TP in from Zeus.
Deft finds a Chains of Corruption as Kellen trying to come forward. As there's the flash from Deft. Keria gonna go down. Faker needs to flash away as well. But Gumayusi doing a lot of damage. Showmaker getting low as Zeus is flapping his wings. The crash down comes forward. Showmaker not gonna get taken out here as Deft is really dead. Really dead. And now Dplus underneath their turret might be able to survive. So I believe a 1-for-1. As the Poppy gonna get stunned up, Canyon has to be wary of these walls. As Canna dealing with Q after Q after Q.
Yeah, I mean, Canna's just getting blasted in the 1v1. And Ona's trying to fish for a dive. It's so risky with the Rel there, with how much CC. But she actually uses the crash down.
Dangerous. And there's the Keeper's Verdict. Canna not going to be stunned as now Kellen diving forward. He needs to run, though, to try and pick this one up. Emperor's Divide is going to push Zeus under the turret. And now Showmaker trying to get the last few autos. Can they actually find it, though? Zeus is still alive. Finally, the auto comes through, and now the Sand Soldiers are plowing in. The Magnet Storm, gigantic. And Ona needing to run out of there. Their health bars are low, but Dplus will wipe the floor with them.
Phenomenal. Go for the Xante, but doesn't quite find the stun. Just misses it out, and the extra damage you'd receive as well. So Canna survives, the TP in, the target selection from Kellen, and it looks like Zeus survives for a bit too long, but the problem is that baits in. Oh no, that baits in Keria. They're like, oh, we can save him. No, you can't. And now you're going to get caught out as well.
Yeah, that crash down Magnet Storm, just the icing on the cake there from Canyon. Once again, I mean, I want to know the address of the hyperbolic time chamber that Kellen was in while Bible was playing. That's what I want to know. As it was Kellen finding angles on Renata and things like this. As we've got another potential fight on our hands. Gumayusi gets over the wall into the back of the pit. Keria now going to throw down the Nature's Grasp. Kellen comes through. There's the package from Faker. He's going to Valkyrie away as Deft trying to get on over. Good flash comes through as it isn't the greatest engage from this Rakan. Canna is tanking them up, and there's the all-out. They pull back Keria, and he's going to look to try and escape and not make it in. It's, oh my goodness, Faker's going to get thrown into the falling apart Summoner's Rift as we have an Elder Soul on our hands, but Showmaker still going to get taken down. Massive knock-up, but there is the Magnet Storm as Canyon dives in. Somehow Canna stays alive. The grand exit from Kellen, and I think, in the end, Dplus win out. Right? Kind of.
Q, so potent because missing health damage as well.
Oh, Faker. Oh, dear.
Nothing's amiss.
Oh, okay. Well, Kellen is going to find him then. That's a jump scare. Yeah, Crab Rave. Okay, well, Canyon is going to come on over and make sure that he secures that. I to advance to avoid the Q. Very nicely done.
I think
standing
also,
on a ward.
with how T1...
Okay, well, Faker Valkyring forward and then decides against really fighting Showmaker here, who does get the Conqueror, and there's the ultimate. The 1v1, Faker is just going to try and vacate, takes his plane, and he wants to get out of here as Nature's Grasp coming through yet again. Now a re-engage onto just one here from Canyon, as it's a dead Zeus. Everyone just comes through, and the Keeper's verdict, it kind of is that Dplus are winning this game.
Yeah, I mean, Dplus are looking great. The gold lead isn't super significant, but they have the kill edge. But they need to start stacking up those dragons. The damage, and he takes a lot in return there for trying to make that happen. And now, a very weird play where both AD carries are moving bot lane.
Yeah, and Gumayusi is kind of in a rough spot. Does get Hail of Arrowed, and they have this control ward here that is so powerful. Kana can find an angle, and he does do so, but Carrier is here. There is, oh no, the Bramble Smash is going to kill Gumayusi, and now Zeus is looking for Deft. Showmaker has made his way in, though, with his teleport, and Zeus, can you actually find it? Deft trying to outplay, and he will get it. The Dustblade gonna proc, and it makes him look real cool, but it's Showmaker in the end that is able to wipe up the Aatrox.
But just a very strange press to Dplus.
This is a patented classic Dplus Baron angle. Faker doesn't have teleport, but he does have package. They have full information. This is going down extraordinarily low. Keeper's verdict comes down now as Ona tries to get in. The Baron is already taken, though, as the Nature's Grasp comes on through. Deft in the back of the pit doesn't have flash. He is staying there, or he is dead. As Gumayusi now taking a lot of damage into the back line. They go Emperor's Divide, but the Azir is still dead. And Deft is still there in the back of that Baron pit. He wants to take someone with him, but he's not going to be able to. Zeus chasing out the remaining members of Dplus, and thank goodness they managed to get the Baron because they did not win the fight.
Yeah, and a lot of summoners been as well. We start Baron strategy from T1.
I kind of love it. We'll see whether it actually works out, though. It is going to give us another team fight. Zeus looking for that angle. Canyon can dive on in. It's going to mitigate the Nature's Grasp as the Keeper's verdict will make this one a messed up fight. And that is going to be the Baron that is secured by T1. Kana trying to dive forward. He does take down the Corki, but at what cost? As Zeus is looking for Showmaker now. Emperor's Divide is available, but he's still going to have to flash to get out of the way of this one. Zeus is just looking inevitable right now, but he just pops like a balloon. That's kind of what that build's going to do, but now Deft is getting closed in on. Emperor's Divide's going to push them away, and Deft somehow survives for so long, and now Gumayusi is taking matters into his own hands. What was that, Showmaker? He is still going to be able to go golden, but now slammed into the wall and will be taken down. It was almost extraordinary. But in the end, didn't quite work, and only Kellen and Deft walk away. I would agree.
It was a lot, and here we see a situation where Canyon gets a pretty great engage. The problem is the package still exists, hard to follow, and a fantastic verdict there coming out from the Poppy to knock away. Faker jumps on a Deft, he's just getting melted.
Yeah, the Gatling gun also doing so much damage even from stasis.
Yeah, and Kana does take out Faker, but he trades his full health bar for him at like 30%. And then we get this kind of wacky moment. Zeus build does that, and then this shuffle is fantastic from Showmaker to knock them away. Gumayusi with an awkward flash, then here zips around to dodge the feathers, and I think he expected the feathers to hit him. So the stopwatch was a mistake. The dash was phenomenal, but didn't need a stopwatch. Could have killed Gumayusi, maybe survived long.
Well and truly swung back as, oh my goodness. Gumayusi just going to outrange the Chains of Corruption. Is now Canyon getting closed in on. Yeah, he's going to Magnet Storm, but he's still going to die. He's doing so much damage there as Faker as well. That level 16 that you were talking about, so dangerous for the Corki. The inner turret going to be taken down. And Kellen was on a flank, but there's nothing to flank anymore as Canyon was taken down. And so he's going to have to go back. He is going to be able to do so. Keeper's verdict channeled. He's going to cancel it. Now Kellen moves in and notices that his base to do very much to Faker if they get Infernal Soul. You're exactly right, as Faker is going to use the package here actually to get out of the way. Ona taking a lot of damage. Nature's Grasp comes in, and they tried to get on top of Ona, but it's Canyon that falls down. He is going to have to back away because he's very, very low. But there's only a few moments here for Dplus to try and lock this one down, and they have no smite available now. And not a lot more. Kellen, he can be mitigated so well by Ona on this Poppy. The Rakan, it's so difficult for him. As Dplus, they know they can't give this up, and Zeus is looking for a flank angle. They just boop away the Rakan. There is the Infernal Soul. The knock-up onto Zeus is fantastic, and Jeff just explodes. T1, I think this might be just it. The last team fight as Keria goes on a big old journey. Canna tries to look for an angle, but they find Showmaker. They take him down. There is no damage left remaining. And you can do as many Kasante things as you want, Canna. You are still going to lose your Nexus. And T1 will move to match point in the series.
Some phenomenal play there. The knock away on the Rakan with the ultimate so good. The package from Faker to dodge the engage. Some phenomenal moves from T1. A scrappy game, a very back and forth game. But in the end, T1 come out ahead 2-1 and 1 game away from winning out the series and getting to that coveted double elimination stage.
Yeah, the T1 chants come through here as they move to that match point, but I can imagine there is some heightened heart rates here in LoL Park because that was by no means a clean and concise T1. See whether they can get there, relying upon some silver scrapes and Deft alongside Kellen with their gigantic CS lead that they have at this early stage of the game. There is a Q. All Out comes forward as well as Canyon wanting to wait for the flash to come in as Zeus is trying to end the world. They do manage to get the permafrost. There's the layering of CC, and there is no flash option here as first blood goes to Canna.
Really well played by...
Internally chained, but now Canna behind the turret. Gonna be pretty happy with this situation. Has his Bramble Vest completed as well as his Steel Caps. And Zeus will now just try and fight him, and maybe he can just win, as All Out is available. Canna is going to try and dash to where he can actually escape as the Q3 comes down. Canna is looking for it. He breaks the chains, finds a Q. Will he have another dash? Who will have the dash first? And the answer is Zeus, and he has a Q, and he's just going to get a solo.
Not really sure what Canna was going for when he opted to take 2 tower hits into Proxy, but that is the end result. Zeus punishes him, and Showmaker?
Yeah, there is a Magnet Storm from Ona, but he's taking a lot of damage. Canyon doesn't have a lot, though, to offer as Tibbers trying to keep Shelly busy, and if this is no charge, it is no value, and it is going to be exactly that. The Glacial Prison, not wanting to use it onto Keria here as Showmaker is teleported in. Gumayusi could be in trouble as they're diving forward. They just get the Feather Storm as Showmaker now going to get taken down so incredibly low. He is drilled in, and Def not able to offer any damage back. That's actually Zeus getting another kill. This could be gigantic as Canyon has to back away from the area. Faker, he's got a big stun prepared. And Dplus, I don't know whether they're going to be able to get this because we can ask him later on once we get out of the series. But
maybe I'll lie in bed at night under it.
Maybe. As Canyon, I thought that maybe he'd press his R button, but decides to hold onto it for the moment. Faker now trying to fight Showmaker here, as this time he's going to jump in and grab himself a kill. Might be able to get a bear at the same time, and so that is a kill onto Faker. Can T1 find themselves any angle for a objective trade? It looks like the answer is no, as we're going to have a look at this from Gumayushi's perspective.
It's like Shock Blast misses. You know he has ult cleanse flash, and you just get way too close. And the thing is, you also lose flash from Deft as well.
Tibbers both available. Canyon needs to be careful with his positioning also as Dplus. They have a feeling that Keria is lurking over the wall. The control ward going to spot him out as now Zeus wanting to get back into the fight once again. DK, they back away. Moonlight Vigil clips Faker right on the edge and they grab the seat. Oh, Canyon not able to get an owner. Locks down the Baron, but can Dplus find the fight? The Aphelios already taken out, and T1! Oh, it's the lethality on this Aatrox, and he decided he's not going to get one shot. He is one-shotting them.
Manages to get the Baron with the smite from Ona, but on top of that, they crush all of Dplus. The engage comes in, the momentum comes in.
Zerilda's coming in as the third item.
Win rate, you know?
Yeah, I know, and I can see why.
And Death, Gale Force is in here, and then the clutch flash ult from Faker onto both the carries, layered with all that CC. So yeah, Zeus cleaned up the fight. Faker, he's back.
Faker, Keria, both of them together. The flash grand entrance to make sure that they can get the quickness on top. Oh man, really nice.
With right now. Oh, you do have, I think that's a blue ward in top lane brush, which is helpful to no one. But it is there. Oh, there's a new ward.
Beautiful.
You know,
repairing, and is providing vision of Zeus.
Exactly. And
there
now
go.
They're aggressively pushing in.
That is a Glacial Prison. They do manage to get the cleanse out of Gumushi, who takes a lot of damage. The flash comes out as Tibbers into the back line, and Explode goes the Lulu, but thankfully it's not Def, but he has to deal with Zeus, who just blows him up. My god, the damage of this Aatrox is absurd. Showmaker tries to use his hammer to get rid of him, but the Infernal Chains come down, and it's a double once again. I think Zeus might get a POG for this particular game, as it's looking a little bit down the inhibitor. They'll take down the Nexus turrets, and they are moving on in the playoffs. Could even be a telecom war for the next round as well. Congratulations to T1, feeling a little bit like a rags to riches story.
Despite being the low.
And these are some of the best highlights from the matchup between T1 and Dplus KIA Esports during the first round of the LCK Playoffs. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.